What's going on, guys? I am Toxic Jordan. Welcome back to another Dokkan Battle video here. Today we are going to take on the Bond of Master and Disciple Super Battle Road here. We are watching back the no item attempt in real time here. So we went with a future Gohan team here. Or I'm sorry, we actually used the this is a Heavenly Events team. We've got the Kid Gohan as our leader, and we're using, as you can see there, the future Gohan and Trunks friend leader. They're both going to be providing 150% to Bond of Master and Disciple. I think only a select few of the units on this team are on Heavenly Events. Just our leader and the Blue Vegeta, I think. So they're the only ones that are going to be seeing a 170 leader skill. Everybody else is going to be on 150. So the two units you see in the first and second slot here, the future Gohan cards, are kind of our aces. When they're linked up together, they have quite a bit of defense. As you can see, the LR is able to tank super attacks decently well. Not amazingly. This is one of the harder Super Battle Road stages for sure. This no item run took me quite a few attempts. These units are looking pretty well right now, but you have to keep in mind that both of the units on rotation there had type advantage. They're also units that do build up over the course of the fight, so that is a good showing from them considering it's turn 1. So we did take enough damage that we're able to get off Kid Gohan's active skill here, which is really nice because he provides some healing for us. So that's going to be coming in clutch. Out of habit there, I put him in the middle slot because active skill super attacks are link skills affect the damage that those do. So I always just out of habit put a unit in the middle slot when I use their active skill. But yeah, so you can see we were able to get a nice bit of healing there. I think I didn't realize that Android 17 was stunned here. I was being very careful, trying to decide how I wanted my rotations, who I wanted to keep on. I decided to do it this way because the Vegeta is definitely going to be able to tank after he super attacks a few times. He shouldn't have any problems not taking damage. And I wanted to keep the Kid Gohan on rotation just in case we took a lot of damage next turn or something, so that he'd be back around for the beginning of the next fight, so we might be able to use as his active skill again. Also, in a few of the previous runs, Whis had gotten me killed by getting hit with a super attack. So I was hoping if he could do well for us here in the third slot, then we could just get him off rotation for a few turns, so we don't have to depend so much on RNG during this run. This started to be one of those runs where I really couldn't depend on, attacks to be dodged. I needed to find a way for defense to carry us through. And this is a very defensive-heavy team, too, which is why I think this stage hits so hard, to be able to penetrate through some of these ridiculously tanky Bond of Master and Disciple allies that we have. Two of which are these Goku and Gohans. So, the LR has his active skill that we are going to be able to see later in this fight, too. That was why I opted to bring him as the friend lead, mainly for that active skill. Once you launch his active skill, he's got a revive mechanic built in, and it's one of the best. It's harder to get there because you have to do an active skill first in order to unleash that part of his kit, but his active skill requirements are really easy compared to other units that have to get hit a certain number of times, or it has to be a certain number of turns in, or you have to have an HP restriction or something like that. With his, the only restriction is that he has to be the one to get hit instead of any unit on rotation getting hit while he's on rotation. So he specifically has to be the one to get hit. But it's really easy to force that because if your health is low, where you'll be able to use the have his active skill up and then use the revive anyway, then you can just throw him in the first slot and he doesn't take, or he'll take a ton of damage because he's not tanky until after he revives. Once he revives, he gets 58% damage reduction for the rest of the fight. So yeah, you're going to see those mechanics come into play here. So on this turn, I opted to put Master Roshi in the first slot there. I was just hoping for a chance to dodge here, potentially. We do take a bit of damage there, but now we have a great chance to stun this AGL enemy here. So if we are able to stun, and we are, then you saw how many attacks we just were able to delete there. And the rest of the attacks we're going to take in this rotation are... we have type advantage, so I'm not too worried. Especially because both of these units are very strong defensively. Even able to get off a dodge there, that's kind of cool. It's kind of funny, like that unit really doesn't need 3 dodge anymore, but it's good just to give it to every single unit. Just in case, you know, because like a 3 dodge could have saved Gohan 200k right there. So yeah, our health is definitely looking very low at this point. Unfortunately, it's only turn 2. So I believe you can activate their active skill at turn 3. So this is looking a little dicey. We do have the AGL enemy still stunned, so we only have to worry about the STR one, which in hindsight, I think I didn't realize that. Otherwise, I probably would have put the LR in slot 1. Because they would have had a better chance. Oh, you know, it might have been the key setup, because they definitely want to get 5 orbs. 5 AGL orbs. It activates all of the attack and defense that they're getting from their passive skill. So if the orbs don't work out well for us, then it's really bad for that unit. They kind of need to be able to get 5 AGL orbs, and then if you get 8 orbs, they get an additional super attack too, which is nice. Alright, so it's a good thing that that wasn't a super attack, because with type disadvantage, we definitely would have died. We don't have enough health to tank one of those right now. Same deal there. Because, yeah, they aren't super strong defensively. I wasn't able to collect enough orbs with them this turn. And then luckily Whis is able to dodge, because he would have absolutely gotten killed from that. We only have 90k HP. So now all enemies are alive. No one is stunned. The STR enemy is sealed, though, so I know he's not going to super attack. Here I'm just trying to gauge who's, gauge our defense and just see who's got the best chance of surviving this. Obviously, I'm going to attack the STR one first, so it's less attacks we have to take, but it is scary that the AGL one is attacking twice there, and if he super attacks Blue Vegeta, then we're probably not going to live. So the idea here is to have Master Roshi stun. I pretty much never get off his 18 key super because he seals with it. I'd rather get off his, 17 key or less, so that he can have a great chance to stun the enemy. That's pretty much his sole purpose on this team. And then when he fails to stun, he has a chance to dodge as a backup, which obviously isn't quite as good. So luckily we didn't have to take a super attack there in the first slot, and then Master Roshi does get the stun, so that is going to carry us through this this fight here. And this Tech Goku and Gohan is so ridiculous, even as a floater on this team, because they're really not the best defensive unit, unless you're able to consistently get a lot of orbs for them every turn. And even so, they're definitely not a slot 1 unit, because they're useless before they super attack. That being said, even with no real support for them on this team, they're still hitting very hard and putting out some major attack stats for us. So they're not the worst floater to have. Kind of a backwards way to do it, but it's working out. So I am happy that I chose to bring them on the team. And then there we go. We were able to get Gohan's active skill again right away here, which was very, very fortunate, because if we weren't able to do that, we probably would have died here. This turn is looking pretty treacherous against the 3 doggos. So we've got the physical feature Gohan in the first slot here. Their defense is looking really nice, especially with that active skill, adding 58% defense to both of them, on top of what monstrous amounts they already had. So yeah, I had to make a tough choice here, because there's so many attacks in that second slot, and a tech enemies attacking. I was really worried about the LR. I think I was more reliant on the physical feature Gohan's defensive capabilities, so I'm really just hoping that Basil doesn't super attack us in the first slot here. And he did not. So it looks like that is going to pay off for us. Also, with all those purple orbs you saw at the very beginning, I wanted to be able to select those with that Gohan. So that critical hit helped us out quite a bit. We were almost able to completely take out Basil there. So I think Gohan should be able to finish him up. And he does. Oh, he actually didn't, but he did stun him, so we don't get attacked by him. He just survives with 1 HP. Which is alright with me, I guess. It's kind of a wasted attack, but I think what we end up doing here is targeting him with Whis, because Whis isn't going to do really damage to anyone anyway. I think that's what I ended up doing here. I don't actually remember. And again, this is a case of deciding who to put where. Okay, so it looks like I am trying to seal... oh, actually, I think that's Basil. Now I'm getting confused with their names, sorry. But yeah, I'm trying to seal him because he's attacking 3 times later on. And I don't want them to get hit by a super attack from him. So, sealing him was definitely the right choice. Yeah, let's see how this plays out. So Whis gets blasted with a super attack here, and I'm like, geez, thank you, Whis. Type advantage, and we still almost died. So we're barely hanging on by a thread. We have 18k HP left, which was like the scariest thing ever. I thought for sure we lost right here. I didn't really see how we were going to come back to that, especially with all the piles of attacks coming up. So we're able to take out the Int doggo, and then at this point I'm really just praying for no supers. So luckily our defense was high enough we were able to tank the normal from the tech enemy. So we are barely alive with like 10k HP left, and then Master Roshi is able to get the stun when he needed it most. And so then here we're able to get the active skill activated, activating the revive for the future Gohan. So now we're safe because he is going to get his attack off. And then he's going to get hit by Bergamo and die, definitely. And then after that we'll revive and we'll get like 85% HP back, I think it is. So here I was actually trying not to select type orbs, just because I wanted my HP to be low so that I would definitely die. Because it is 1 normal attack, that's all we're going to be taking, like potentially. So I would have felt silly if we survived with like 5 HP and then Gohan and Goku just get rocked in the last slot and we lose. So yeah, I was as careful as possible as I could have been with that. The one thing that sucks about these revives, the way they work, is that you don't get to use the rest of the attacks for the turn. So like here we die, and then the second future Gohan doesn't get to attack, and the Goku Gohan don't get to attack. It's just going to revive and then reset us to the next rotation. So that is kind of an interesting... I feel like they could do a play off of that with a new mechanic in game that's like a revive, but it's more of like a... They could actually do something really cool with like a time traveling card. Like a future Trunks that goes back in time, or a Cell card that goes back in time or something. Someone that's time traveled, and then have them do like a revive mechanic, but instead they just go back to the beginning of the turn. That'd be kind of cool. And then you revive your HP. That way you get to start the same rotation again with more HP rather than the next rotation. Could be an interesting idea. I could see some utility for that. Anyways, so we are able to survive there due to the clutch revive there. So now we have got a Dokkan attack active here. And with this Dokkan attack, this should be plenty of damage here. I'm pretty sure this seals the deal. I think we're kind of out of the woods at this point. Granted, we are facing a tech enemy here, so he probably won't one-shot him. But I imagine it would take him getting supered and then Whis not dodging in the last slot for us to actually lose from that. So we'd have to get some pretty bad luck here for this to be a problem. So yeah, we were able to almost finish him with that Dokkan attack. I can't remember if he lives to the next turn. Looking at it, seems possible. Okay, so now we're definitely not going to take any damage because Gohan was able to stun him there. Yeah, so he does survive to the next turn, which is kind of funny. But he's stunned anyway, so it doesn't matter. And again, I didn't realize it. I am so guilty of not realizing that the enemy is stunned. You know, sometimes you just get so into the run that you're focused on what you're doing and you're trying to not mess up. But yeah, once I realized that he was stunned, I was like, oh, okay, we can just send this and go. This should be a free win here. And so future Gohan finishes it off. And that is how we got Bond of Master and Disciple completed. This was a headache of a run. Definitely one of the hardest ones. So I'm glad it's out of the way. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that run. Leave a comment down below if you let me know what you thought of it. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace!